My name is Alexander Pukov, and I'm a dancer. To understand why people are so similar but their dances are so different, I set out on a round-the-world trip. I imagine that the most popular pastime on the beaches of Rio de Janeiro is football. Turns out it's capoeira. At first glance, it looks like dancing with elements of acrobatics.
You can do it.
Can I?
It's your turn now.
Come what may, let's do it. If I'd been in a street fight in the hood, I'd have already been kicked in the teeth. This place is somewhat more cultural. But as soon as I give into the music and relax, effortless leg work turns the dance into... Wait for it. Into a spectacular way to throw the opponent down on the ground. To survive on the dark streets of Rio, ballet training is not going to cut it. Everyone respects capoeira mestres, even drug lords. I will have to join an underground fight club. I was out after about 15 seconds, but these guys did like 200 push-ups. Find an expert in playing one string. To become good at capoeira, you need to hear the music and understand when it's time to stop dancing and start fighting. The Terminator who almost killed me back at the beach turned out to be a capoeira teacher from favela Bom Sucesso, which translates from Portuguese as good luck. Don't worry, you are totally safe with me. I grew up here and I know everyone in this neighborhood. The people in the Rio favelas are not necessarily drug lords and murderers. Half of the city population lives in these areas of sporadic development. Nobody wants to move out. The best views of the city are there, and there's no need to pay for electricity or water. There's only one problem: children grow up on the streets. To empower even the smallest ones to stand up for themselves, or better yet, avoid bad guys altogether, Caroso teaches them capoeira. How many students do you have? 31. And when did you start yourself? Doing capoeira? When I was 6. My son is also doing capoeira now. And my niece. And their friends from all over the neighborhood. It's all free. They don't need to pay anything. A construction contractor during the day. In the evening, Caroso becomes a children's coach. His own story is the best testimony to how capoeira can help you make your way in life. Today, he's a capoeira mestra, which means a master of playing. Favelas are ruled by the drug mafia. There aren't a lot of legal ways to make a living. From the age of 15, I've been giving private lessons on capoeira, doing shows in clubs, teaching it in the army. Everyone respects capoeira mestras, even drug lords. Capoeira used to be the weapon of street gangs. Training sessions were enough to get you jailed. Today, it's the best hope for rehabilitating problem teenagers. They are gonna have a quick run, warm up, and then we'll start the lesson. Children have so much energy, and it is important to always guide it in the right direction. Aha, I came in first! Capoeira doesn't have static stances. The fundamental movement, ginga, is both a defense that helps you dodge a blow and an attack. It's Jenga that makes Capoeira look both like a game and a dance. And now the whole sequence without pauses. Even a harmless cartwheel comes from what once was a lethal maneuver. Street capoeiristas would clutch razors between their toes so that they could suddenly strike a blow while dodging an attack. As a heritage of those criminal times, every practice always has background music playing. Whenever a policeman would get close, the atabaque drums would start playing samba and the circle would switch from fighting to dancing. The things you saw in the movie City of God are real. For 2 years, I hadn't been able to teach capoeira here because it was too dangerous. A week ago, there was a shooting nearby which could have spilled into this playground. We need to look for a new place now. We have one kid whose father was killed in a shooting. Drug trafficking. 9 children were orphaned. He comes here like it's his family, and I believe that capoeira friends are friends for life. At the end of each practice, there's roda, a sparring in a circle with group chanting. Voice is just as dangerous a weapon in capoeira as legs. A maestra, for example, can kill using nothing but a song. The circle has a strict code of conduct in place. The older, more experienced student invites the younger one in and helps him work on his moves. And since this is my first training, everyone offers me their help, from Caroso's son, Samiichi, to his niece, Natalie. In this kindergarten for capoeiristas, I realized I should have started about 20 years ago. Still, capoeira might help me better understand Brazilians who keep singing and playing even in the face of mortal danger. In order to become a real capoeirista, I will first have to survive bullying. Searching for my teacher, I would head to the blackest city on earth outside of Africa. Europe's in crisis, and here we have everything to be happy. Come to Salvador and find out how zebra mating habits turn into a proper martial art. The police used to track down capoeiristas amidst the dark alleyways of favelas by the sound of the singing bow, the berimbau. I'm looking for the master of playing on one string, the author of hundreds of practicing songs, and a capoeira bard, Mestre Tony Vargas. Wearing a red bandana and an earring, he reminds me of pirate Jack Sparrow. Tony Vargas is one of the most revered masters in Rio who studied under the founders of modern-day capoeira. Today, his songs accompany training sessions all over the world. This looks nothing like a dancing warm-up, more like a military boot camp. Novices and masters are not split up. Everyone trains together, learning from each other. The maestra, like an orchestra conductor, sets the rhythm for the entire group. I was out after about 15 seconds, but these guys did like 200 push-ups. Though completely exhausted, I know that there's only one way forward. Bite the bullet and keep going.
I'm willing to fight for this. I'm willing to fight. Come on. I'm willing to fight for this. Okay. I'm willing to fight. I gotta fight us hard with the warrior spirit. It's like a boxer, a smooth appearance. Straight coming at you with no interference. So don't get in my way. I'm willing to fight for this. Okay. So don't get in my way.
It's hard to imagine boxers, sambo, or God forbid, sumo wrestlers suddenly breaking into song before the fight. Capoeira masters, however, could easily rock the church choir. Not a minute in, I start singing along, even though I don't know either the lyrics or the music. Nobody cares if you sing out of key, as long as we do it all together. Some sort of musical team building. The maestra's solo song is always a parable. It talks to the students, introduces the newcomers, and warns about the craftiest players of Rota. After the gathering repeated every phrase after the maestra as a sign of respect and attention to his words. The game is on. The rhythm and pace of the orchestra or bateria decides what kind of game it will be, a harsh one or something more of a dance. Finally, it's my turn. They go easy on me since I'm new. It looks a lot like stage combat, the art of mock fighting that I used to study once upon a time. What matters here is not the actual hit, but showing that you could have made one, just like in non-contact karate. Right before the grand finale, the orchestra works up the speed. Novices are not allowed inside the circle during this rhythm as it's very dangerous. To become good at capoeira, you need to hear the music. Music was added to capoeira by its founder, Mestre Bimba, who decided to turn underground fights into a martial art. Capoeira is always both a dance and a combat. You fight if you need to protect yourself, and you can dance it if you're among your friends. What are the songs about? They are stories from the lives of slaves, stories of love and fighting for freedom. This song is about Luanda. It's a seaport in Africa from which slave ships were setting sail to Brazil. It's the last memory of the motherland. From Luanda, the ships filled with slaves headed to the first capital of Brazil, the city of Salvador. According to the legend, it's there in the workers' barracks that capoeira was born. And that's where I need to continue my training. In the music capital of Brazil, even I will develop a vocal talent. It's okay, our theater's quite small. You just need to relax. I will find out how Michael Jackson turned capoeira into breakdancing. The foundation of both styles is roda, a battle in a circle. Both have defense and attack. And I'll go through the initiation with the most dancing mestra of Salvador. Just don't forget to smile. It makes the attack more unexpected. All to fight off street thugs.
Mira, oye.
Come over here, princess. Here we have the sun and the sea, the blue sea. Europe's in crisis, but here we have everything you need to be happy. Move to Salvador. A mere 100 years ago, this call to move here would have seemed a cruel joke. The capital of the state of Bahia, once the first capital of Brazil, Salvador was the first and one of the biggest slave trade centers in the New World. Many years ago, a whipping post called Pelourinho was located on this square. Today, the entire historic center built by slaves bears its name. After slavery was abolished, the square became the venue for the first demonstrations of the slaves' underground art of self-defense, which later became capoeira. Everyone was allowed to take a crack at it and get beaten up. It was one of the city's attractions, a fundraising gig, and a real-life ad for the martial arts school. Nothing has really changed since then. I'm still scared to go in. The atmosphere in the city still feels oppressive. Even in the center, especially at night, you always feel uneasy. Policemen and hard stares follow you wherever you go. Once a week, the best mestras of the city get together for a master rota. For a novice, this is a perfect opportunity to take a seat and pick a teacher you like. The first thing to catch your eye after Rio is the speed of the game. Here things are smoother and more fluid. Capoeiristas seem to be dancing, swaying to the musical rhythm and lulling the opponent into complacency. And then suddenly comes a swift exchange of attacks. This is malicia, which means cunning, trickery, the biggest virtue of an accomplished capoeirista. A strike can be made at any point, even during the call to a fight, chamada. The selection of these ruses is what determines the individual style of every mestra. Someone pretends to be drunk, someone takes a dive, everything just like in dancing. The basic step is for novices, masters improvise. In terms of tactics and sense of rhythm, the player I like most is the star of the party, Mestre Valmir. And it seems I'm not alone in this. Everyone wants to play with him. Little by little, the music picks up in pace, the circle starts moving, and capoeira suddenly turns into samba. At this point, anyone can end up inside the circle. That was amazing. What does this zebra mean on your t-shirt? This is the symbol of my school. In Angola, the birthplace of most slaves, there's this dance called Ngolo. It's a dance of zebras, of two warriors contesting a woman. Its elements, disguising combat as dance, using the head and legs for hitting, a circle of musicians and spectators, were brought to Salvador by the first slaves. They laid the foundation for capoeira. Why did people dance samba after Roda? For men, capoeira was always more than just the art of self-defense. It was also a chance to show off. Naturally, there were a lot of women in the audience. Trying to lure them into the circle and hit on them, capoeiristas started doing samba. You know, samba and capoeira have the same roots. Can I come to one of your lessons? Sure. We have practices every day, 7 days a week. Here, right around the corner, in the historical center. I'll be happy to see you there. Thank you. See you there.
See you in the class.
Okay, ciao, ciao, bye.
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 Looking at the ships moored in the Bay of All Saints, I'm thinking of the 5 million slaves brought here from Africa. 1/3 of them died en route. The local bazaar down there, where there's a tourist market today, had seen more slaves sold than both Americas put together. It's surprising that after all they've been through, Afro-Brazilians kept their music and dancing. What's not surprising is that this music has won over the world. In 1995, Salvador, the blackest city outside of Africa, was visited by none other than Michael Jackson, who was shooting a video for his provocative hip-hop hit, They Don't Care About Us. The hook of the song, which is also its title, got so deep under the black skin of Salvador that the entire city became obsessed with American culture. Brothers from the city's outskirts quickly found loads of similarities between capoeira and Harlem breakdancing. That was really cool. Capo break. There's a legend in Salvador which says that breakdancing developed from capoeira. Capoeira has jinga. And break has top rock. Both have a lot of similar moves. For example, this move in capoeira and freeze in break. In the 70s, capoeira masters first came to New York to teach their craft. Afro-Brazilians and Afro-Americans were mixing the same circles and learning a lot from each other. The foundation of both styles is roda, battle in a circle. Both have attack and defense. This is the attack in breakdance. So it's a dance battle, a dance-off. Yes, and here's capoeira. Defense, attack. Question, answer. In break, it's the same in capoeira. After his shift at the repair shop where a capo break maestro works as a car mechanic, he assembles DIY portable speakers which allow him to introduce the art to the masses. My philosophy is simple. If you want to do capoeira, learn how to play berimbau. If you want to break dance, put together a stereo system like the one I have and go outside. For my new friends, capoeira is not fighting, it's dancing. And even more, it's a way to present yourself to the world. And whatever angle you take, it's worked. Otherwise, would I even be here?
This comes from my country, Capoeira, so my culture.
Going from dancer to fighter is quite an ordeal. I'm still scared, I'm not going in. But I decided to go through with it. I'm up for the combat initiation at the Capoeira Music School. Will I work up the courage to get back out on the street and overcome my fear? The historic center where Michael Jackson shot his music video has only grown more decrepit in the last 10 years. All the freshly painted buildings are either hotels or tourist shops. By the 90s, capoeira had spread all over the world as hip-hop singles, dancing, or a martial art. Later on, the first Hollywood action movies appeared that made capoeiristas look just as cool as Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan. Swarms of pilgrims surged to Salvador. We have a new guy today. What's your name? Alexander? We'll call you Chandre, the Brazilian way. Everyone gets a nickname in capoeira. This tradition goes back to the criminal past of capoeira. Practicing it at the turn of the century could easily get you thrown in jail, so people knew each other only by aliases to keep their names secret from the police. You can't tell, but Mestre Valmir is almost 50 years old. All right, who of you young people can do this? 30 of those years were dedicated to capoeira. He started learning it from the actual founding fathers. Valmir's school continues the line of Mestre Pastinha, the creator of Angola style. Instead of the familiar white uniform, here you get black pants and yellow t-shirts. Those are the colors of Pastinha's favorite football team. Coming to Valmir for initiation are Rastafarians from France, Yogi from America, and even a female student from Moscow. Me too. All here to undergo the Batizado baptism ceremony and receive the coveted yellow t-shirt. And if Batizado is baptism, then the Mestre in capoeira is a prophet. He walks on his hands. Read sermons. When you play, you need to remain calm and closely watch your opponent. Dance instead of fighting. And most importantly, smile. It will make the attack unexpected. It's one of those capoeira tricks. And offers hope to the desperate. Relax. Enjoy everything you do. Remember that you are a dancer. Just as I start getting something right, the Mestre puts me through a new test, a musical competition. seems that the audition went just fine. I've secured a position in the orchestra. They give me a tambourine and a solo part instead of backup vocals. That's okay. Our theater's quite small. Just don't forget to relax. Once I auditioned for the role of Rooster in the musical Town Musicians of Bremen and failed miserably. But here my talent found its admirers. The lyrics are primitive. Yes, 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 no, 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 today it's here, tomorrow it's gone. Like moonlight disappears at the dawn. It's a good template to sing just about anything, freedom, slavery, paycheck, or love. But it's a very efficient exercise. My body straightens up, fear and shyness go away. Anything in life can be dealt with except for death. As long as you are afraid, you never live. There was a man in the neighborhood who was so afraid of dying that he never left home. But then a bus crashed right into his house. So playing Live Fearlessly. After the sermon comes Rhoda. The maestra pulls me aside. Chandri, here's our uniform. You are now one of us. Welcome to Capoeira, Angola. Thank you. While the yellow t-shirt was given to me in advance, the black trousers are yet to be earned. To this end, I'll have to fight none other than the maestra himself. Here comes the moment of truth. Teacher Valmir starts a prayer song definitely about me. It's really sad that I don't understand a word in Portuguese. All I can make out is, "Don't cry, you mama's boy. Stand up and fight." I'm now being ridiculed. If there's one thing I learned, it's that capoeira can be aggressive, playful, or anything else. In the end, it all depends on the player. And the most natural thing for me is dancing. And I think that's what the maestra has been waiting for. After the baptism ritual of Batizado, where I've been christened Chandri, I return to the central square where Roda has been going on non-stop for the last 100 years. Having covered the same path as Capoeira itself, from favelas and dark black alleys to gyms and tourist plazas, I'm no longer afraid of getting beaten or being laughed at. And even for these supermen, what matters most is the beauty of the game. And even though I'm not a Brazilian and my capoeira looks more like a military hopak dance, I'm going to play all in. After all, where else would a regular dancer get to feel like a character in an action movie? Bravo, bravo. Now that's what I call real capoeira. And you'd think, so what's up with Michael Jackson anyway?
We are the world, yeah. We are the children. We are the world's making that a day. So let's start giving. Let's start giving. When there's thoughts of maybe. When there's the water world. It's you making that a day. It's you and me. Women, give me a hand.